Good wisdom, man. Very good wisdom. And it's crazy. Just to even add to that, it's crazy that you get sick as you're now learning. Um, so you definitely don't want to take that as a bad thing, but maybe as a challenge, maybe as an opportunity to really, like I said, to get to it and tap into that which you already know. All you're doing is remember. So now it's time to remember and to apply that which you already learned. So take that opportunity. Yorsha, what's going on? Shalom, shalom. Welcome to the class. What's the word? How your week been?
Hey, it's been interesting. Like I had said, I was in the process of moving, and I actually just lost a lot of my stuff. Like I had hired movers, and the truck caught on fire with my stuff in there. So I got some of it. Some of it was saved, but a lot of important things burned up. So I'm just trying to, clear my mind because I was stressed, but I'm good. I'm grateful for what I have. And yeah, that's how my week has been.
That's all good. It's all good. Hey, trust me, we all go through. If you need any assistance with anything, if it's in my power, please let me know. And I'll see what I can help with.
Thank you.
So with that being said, we're gonna get started. Let everybody else join. But I missed y'all, man. How y'all man, I missed y'all. I know it's been a little minute. But I just got back in America, officially Friday night. So I'm back in Georgia, back in Babylon. So just kind of been adjusting since I've been back for the last few days. To be honest with you, I'm already feeling the pressure in my head. Um, even with the foods, it's most definitely different. It's most definitely will take some adjustments. Being on fresh organic food, for a year, being in fresh organic environment for a year can really start to change the dynamics of your cells. And I hope that y'all been picking that up through the lesson. Your cells literally do transform and convert and conform to the environment that it's in. So for me, my cells really start to transform back into that natural state that resonates with my ancient DNA, that resonates with that ancient scrollic information that runs through my blood. And so it was starting to be divinely aligned. So to come back, right now it's shaking up, you know what I'm saying? But it's all good. We're gonna get back aligned. We're gonna get back in purpose and continue to move forward. And that's the thing about it. One thing I learned is that one thing our people always did, no matter where it was at, they brought home with them. They brought home with them, and that's the one thing that unfortunately captivity did not do. When they took us, they did not bring home with us. You see. So now that I've been able to expose myself and understand that, I brought home with me. So now it's gonna be a whole nother dynamic than the first 30, 31 years or 30 years in my life. So that's what it's all about, y'all. Let's bring home. Let's bring home. So let's bring what we know, that ancient information home, so that we can heal our people and truly bring that homeostasis in any environment that we in, because our ancestors did it. Anywhere they traveled, they brought their medicine, they brought their food, they brought their clothes, they brought their spirituality, they brought their hymns, they brought all of that. You see, I'm skipping back. Am I skipping with anybody else?
No, you're good on my end.
Nay, Atara, am I skipping with anybody else? Rashad, I heard you see your. Okay, I'm good on you. Anybody
I'm
else?
here. I'm here. I can hear you.
You hear me clear?
It sounds like you're driving, but I can still hear you.
Okay, Rashad, you can hear me?
Yeah, you good.
Nay, you can hear me clear?
Yeah.
Okay, Ariella, it may be where you at, maybe your location, your Wi-Fi. I don't know, maybe you need to move or maybe hop off and hop back on. We'll wait till she get back in.
Okay, and just for future references, it's Sayorsha.
Sayosh.
Sayorsha.
My
Yes.
apologies.
A lot of people say Sayorsha. It makes sense, but it's Sayorsha.
And I'm used to Africa. You know, all the I's and Y's they pronounce them like E's. Sayorsha.
Yeah,
So you just say it. Okay, Sayorsha. My apologies. I'm gonna give it a few minutes. Chris trying to hop on, bro. That stuff ain't connected. Take a picture of this. While we waiting, I'm about to ask a controversial question, but I do want to get people's thoughts since we're talking about holistic health. What y'all think about what they're doing as far as making it illegal for abortion? Making it illegal for abortion. What's your thoughts on that?
I think I think it's crazy to try to control and stop abortion by criminalizing it. That doesn't make me pro-abortion. It just it just makes me think, like, why do you feel that you can control it and stop it by criminalizing it? You just putting women more at risk. Women's gonna go to quack doctors. They're gonna resort to old-fashioned ways of abortion. I mean, I don't know. I don't agree with that.
Yeah, I feel similarly. Like I feel like a consequence of it is definitely like people are gonna start trying to resort to something else, and that something else probably is gonna be unsafe measures. So it's like, you know, um I think, when you don't give people that room to have choice, freedom. And it also makes me think back to, like, how God gives us free choice, for us to either choose life or choose death, but he still gives us that choice. And so, yeah, that's how I feel about it. I don't think that it's going to be anything good that comes from it, though.
I think that, and I spoke on this recently, I think that people, if you don't want one, then just don't do anything. There's nothing wrong with, not leaning towards that way, but also, there are measures that you can take. There's plenty of herbs that are like Plan B that you could do. You get what I'm saying? So once you let it get that far, then obviously it was meant to happen. So you might as well just sit down, and just have the baby. But, with people need to understand with, choosing to abort a spirit or eject the spirit out of this realm, it come with karmic debt consequences. You get what I'm saying? That you're gonna have to pay for. So you can use your will to figure out if you want to get smacked down by the universe in about 7 to 8 months, or however long it takes for the karma cycle to turn around. Or, you can just deal with the consequences or prevent them before it starts. You get what I'm saying? But I do agree that, some people are about to start doing some crazy stuff. But I think it'll more so be the doctors trying to make extra money. So they're gonna be sneaking and geeking, trying to do some stuff. Or they might have the doulas, the deaf doulas, using this as an opportunity to make money.
Mm-hmm.
And some herbalists too.
I agree with that. I agree with that.
I ain't gonna lie to you, won't be this herbalist.
Won't be me either.
It won't be me. Not be partaking in that. But I could definitely respect everybody's views on it, um, and feelings on it. Me personally, it's like this. It's like, I'm gonna use this example. Use the example of Bill Gates. Bill Gates right now is buying up all the land. He's genetically modifying all the food. He's literally trying to block out the sun. He's created chemtrails across the world. Now, although we can be like, man, that's terrible, that's bad. Like, why are you doing that to people, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But for me, I look at the bigger scheme of it, or the bigger message of it. The bigger message in that is this: he's forcing us to now go back to our old ways. He's forcing us to now learn how to grow food. He's forcing us now to learn be self-sufficient. And although that can be a bad thing, and people can become, I guess you could say, collateral damage on the way due to this decision, but it's going to start pushing us not even toward putting our back towards the wall, but it's going to push us into nature. Right? It's going to push us into nature. So I look at it from the same perspective with this abortion. Do I believe that he should take choices away? Nah, because like the sister said, the Most High gives us choice. But at the same time, one thing I personally do not agree with, I'm not going to say not like, but I don't agree with is a lot of our sisters, when it comes to this situation, tries to use rape as the catalyst, right? They try to use rape and molestation as the catalyst. And I'm not sitting here to say that there's no such thing as rape, there's no such thing as molesting. I know that to be a fact, especially in Georgia. It's a lot of it. But rape and molestation does not account for 85% of the Black community with STDs. Rape does not contribute for the majority to the diseases that flow through our community. It just doesn't. So now when I look at the numbers of STDs in the Black community, and then I look at the number of rape cases, the number of STDs, the percentile is much higher than rape cases. And there's a lot more that goes to why women may get raped, or not even just women, men too, young boys get raped as well. A lot of things that go into that, but I'm not going to go into that. But my point is that it's more than just rape or why women get abortions. And so I say that to say is this: I do believe that it may cause people to do more extreme things, but I also believe that it's going to start causing people now to think before they act. You know, a lot of people use abortions, not just women but men too, as like as a crutch, so that they can continue to have unsanctioned sex. You see,
Right.
you know, they use that to have unsanctioned sex, unordained sex. We fornicate more than there's rape cases, and I think we all can agree on that. There's more fornication and more people just having sex for sport than people getting raped. I think we all can agree on that. So when you look at it from that perspective, this is a twofold thing that's going on. Yeah, it's bad, but in the same case, it's really more so bad to those who can't fornicate like they want to no more so than those who got raped. You see what I'm saying?
That's true. That's true.
So when you look at it from that perspective, it's like, okay, now here's another thing the Most High is throwing out there. Okay, now he's forcing us to be wise in our decisions about who we're sleeping with. And hopefully it can now then cause us to even think about the unsanctioned energy that we're exchanging with people that don't even deserve it. You see? So I believe that it's a twofold thing that's going to happen. I believe that people are going to go to extremities, more so those who want to freak freely than those who getting raped. And you know what's crazy? Here's the crazy thing about this, y'all. If you really research this, you'll actually find cases of women who get raped. They're actually more likely to keep the baby than actually eject the baby. Crazy, right? If you look it up, you can find this. Women who get raped are more likely to actually keep the baby than to actually eject the baby. So now when you look at those stats, now you got to really ask yourself, who's really upset then? And it's going to keep coming down to those who want to sit here and fornicate and freak freely. You see, so I feel for those who do go through that situation of rape or molestation. I do feel for that. And at the same time, those who are in an uproar is like, now you got to really actually respect yourself. Now you actually got to think about what you're doing before you do it. And I honestly think that we will see some good come out of it, because we're going to see a lot of. I guarantee we even start seeing the production of babies slow down. And some people are like, well, we need to make babies. Yeah, we do need to make babies, but we got to stop making servitile babies. We got to stop making systematic babies. We got to stop making babies that's literally getting bought into the system because those who created them are bought into the system and want to continue to sell their souls and their bodies to the system that don't care about it. So I would rather you not have a baby than you to have unsanctioned sex and have a baby and continue to birth more slaves for them. It makes no sense. You see that in the scriptures. You know, blessed are the women who have not had children, who pretty much take hold of the Creator, versus those who have children and are attached to the world. You know what I'm saying? Because we're losing the dignity and integrity of what marriage and even what the sacredness of sex is. It's become a sport. It's become a thing. It's no different than my son going to Toys R Us and opening up a box full of toys and just start playing with it. Then when he get done, he throw it away. That's how we're treating sex. I enjoy it in the moment, and then I'm done. You go ahead your way. We've lost the respect and dignity and integrity of ourselves. So I believe that it's going to be a balance. I'll say that it's going to be a balance, because it's going to be, it sucks for those who really do. I'm talking about really go through those things, and then for those who just freaking freely, it's just like, what you gonna do? Are you willing to not only give yourself up, but then go through the torment of hurting yourself because you want to eject the baby just because of the lust of your flesh? Or are you gonna now start respecting yourself and say, you know what, maybe I just need to be wise in my choices about who I sleep with, because I no longer can put myself in the line like that. So that's just my thoughts on it, y'all. That's my thoughts. But I do appreciate every last one of y'all sharing it, and that's real. It's nobody said anything wrong. Nobody said anything wrong. I think that's very real. So with that being said, I don't know what's going on. Tara, she keep jumping on. Oh, okay, Chris. Chris, you good? Chris, can you think you good now? We back in business. Chris, can you hear me?
Yes.
Peace. What's going on? Shalom.
Hello.
Yeah, we were just talking about we just checking up on each other, then just talking about the recent mandate of no more abortion. So we were just chiming in. You got any thoughts on that before we get started? Chris?
Several thoughts, but I don't know. Right now, several thoughts.
It's all good. With that being said, let's get it, y'all. I'm about to share my screen. Nay, when you see my slide up, if you see my slide, let me know. Okay.
Okay. I see it.
Cool. You say you see it?
Yep.
All right, y'all. So this is class 4. This is class 4 for anybody who will be checking in on the recording. Please make sure that you go watch classes 1, 2, and 3 beforehand. So this class will make perfect sense to you, as we are doing it in chronological order on how to truly heal and bring the body to balance. So today's class is called Gene. Gene is pretty much DNA. DNA is information. Information is nothing but scrolls and pretty much coding. It's coding, light codes. So it's genes or DNA, or you want to say light codes by geographical alignment. Anybody know what alignment means? Can somebody tell me what alignment means? I can't see y'all, so y'all have to just come on and speak. Anybody tell me what alignment means?
To be in a position that's to be arranged like in a straight way.
Good. Good. So pretty much it's an arrangement or position of agreement or what's another word we can use? It's like a straight line, straight and narrow, right? No different than our bodies. We are simple cellular structures. Everything is straight and narrow. That's why our bodies is upright. Everything is straight up and down, right? So with that being said, everything that's dealing with us or about us or made for us, by us, and to us is to be in perfect uprightness or perfect alignment, or in Hebrew they say yashar, right? So let's keep going. So gene by geographical alignment. As you see on the flyer, you see the America and you see Africa. Reason I put that is because you got a lot of people who claim that we from Americas, that's the original land, that's the original holy land. Now, do I agree that we are the original people there? Absolutely. We are the original people everywhere on the earth. But does our genetic structure, our DNA code, our genetic code, does it root back to America? Not at all. Not at all. You will find traces through migration periods, absolutely. But as far as rooted genetic codes, it does not go back to America. It does go back to Africa. And I'm not just talking about melanated, I'm talking about all people, because all people come from us. Okay? So now with that being said, you see the cells. If you really study cellular work, you'll see one called a eukaryotic cell and a prokaryotic cell. And I believe we went over that before. Understanding that eukaryotic cells, that's 100 million, 50 trillion of your cells that come from Earth. The other 100 trillion comes from what they call the cosmos, comes from the Shamayim, comes from the heavens, comes from what they also call stardust. It does not have an origin in the Earth. So with that being said, if that is the case, that also must be a thing that aligns with that prokaryotic and eukaryotic cells. We are the only beings, I'm talking about the melanated people, who produces both eukaryotic and prokaryotic cells. No other people produces these type of cells, okay? And as y'all see, we also have the meat and we have the fruits. Why? Because we just have that within our people who believe that we should eat a certain food, and we have people who believe that we shouldn't. But we're gonna let the information talk for itself, and I'm gonna show y'all without a shadow of a doubt that we must eat the food that was aligned with our genetic code, that was in line with our DNA, that was not aligned with that God gene. And that is the only way that we can literally survive, not even survive, that we can flourish on a genetic level. This is the only way that we can truly bring balance, that we can truly bring homeostasis to the body, is through and it's not just only the foods, but it's also through our spirituality. It's also through our culture. And when the root word of culture is cultivate, cultivate comes from agriculture. So you see, everything is in line with nature. There's not one thing that you're not aligned with when it comes to something natural and nature itself. Nothing. You're aligned with the trees. You're aligned with the stars. We know for a fact that we're aligned with the celestial or terrestrial beings, because one thing we know for a fact that even moves us to have a certain mood, or for our sisters have a certain type of menstrual cycle, is the moon. Do y'all agree with that? Well, my sisters, I don't know if y'all ever heard of that before, but your menstrual cycle even moved based upon the moon. Did y'all know that?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
So we can clearly see that we are connected with nature. If you go outside, you don't have to even eat food and you still get fed. How is that? Because you have something called melanin. Melanin is nothing but carbon. Carbon is nothing but sugars. Sugar is nothing but salt. And salt is nothing but energy. So now imagine that. If everything, so think about this. You breathing correctly from what? Trees. You're able to actually feed yourself by grounding. You're able to sit in the sun and literally get fed by the sun rays. Not only does your melanin protect you, but it also is getting fed by cholesterol, which turns into vitamin D, which vitamin D is one of the main things that produces iron phosphate, that's the main mineral for the black man, black woman, and black child. You see that? So the creator made everything in nature for you, you see, for you to thrive. He even placed you in an environment to thrive. And we're going to go through that. because you will see that your environment, even the very soil, plays a major part in your health. Because here in America, the soil is not even right. In America, the soil does not even give it's no different than this. If I took a burdock root seed from Africa and I brought it over here, it would not produce the same electricity and the same potency as it was if it was in Africa. That makes sense? Does that make sense so far?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it does. It makes a lot of sense.
And the reason for that is this: if it's no different than this, let me ask Sayoshi. Sayoshi, if I never ate meat my whole life, matter of fact, let's keep it simple. If I ate fruit my whole life up until now, like my age right now, and let's say I even decided to eat grains, I decided to eat grains, I decided to eat some rice, what do you think the effect would be?
Well, it's gonna have. I think it will have a negative effect on your body because your body's not used to it.
It's not used to it. It's not used to it at all. Because the environment that I came from, everything that I needed always came from fruits. So now I'm introducing a foreigner, something that I've never had in my life, enter into my body. All of a sudden, I start having these deficient mechanisms. I start having this ease type of functions. I start to throw up, right? Because that's not how I was made, nor did I grow up in an alignment. So some people may say, well, we're born in America, then that should be fine. Nah, because your DNA was not born in America. Because DNA is eternal. DNA goes back thousands and thousands and thousands of years. So regardless of you, your son, your daughter, your grandparent, your grandchildren, your great-great-grandchildren, no matter what, 10 generations down the line was born in America. If you test your DNA, it will not test for America. It will always test for Africa. Or any type of part in the eastern parts, as far as the root of your DNA. So if that's the case, that means no matter where you go, you still are supposed to be in alignment with the root of your DNA. You see that? I'll give you another example. Like when we was coming back from Tanzania. One of the things they gave us some food, and from the looks of it, it looked cool. You couldn't really see what was in there besides like vegetables and things of that nature. So I give my son the food. I give him their food first and whatnot, and then I'm about to go start eating mine. So I usually definitely check my food. I'm going in there, and you really couldn't see it, but you had to really lift up everything to see that they had actually put meat on a sandwich. So I didn't eat it, but then I turned around, my son, he ate the whole thing. So what had happened was, literally 30 minutes later, he throws up everywhere. He throws up on himself. He throws up on my other son. I'm like, damn. And at first, I'm like, damn. I was hoping maybe he didn't have it because I didn't see it in his sandwich, but he threw up. After that, he started having some real stomach issues. So then they brought some more food out after hours went past. It's crazy. They had brought out some rice and some vegetables. And then they had brought out this platter of fruit. This is what my son literally said to me. He said this. I said, go ahead, eat, son. Get something in your stomach. He said, no, if I eat it, I'm going to throw up. I'm like, okay, I ain't going to force you. 5 minutes later, he get to eating fruit. And he felt better. And for me, that was another lesson for me, is showing you that even children remember. They remember what they're supposed to do. You see that? I didn't tell him to eat the fruit. I was trying to get him to eat the food just to get something on the stomach. He told me, no, I don't want to eat it. It may make me throw up. And then 5 minutes later, he knew to eat the fruit. Because he understands, as a child, understanding that he knows at this point, because I've trained him like that, he knows what's best for his stomach so he can still get filled up, but also know what's going to help settle his stomach, what's going to help that issue and disease that he had going on in his stomach. You see that? Because he's remembering the genetic code, the information within his DNA. That makes sense to everybody? Come off mute real quick, if that makes sense to you.
Yes. Yes, it does.
Good. Okay. Good. All right. Let's keep going. All right. So obviously we have this thing going on right now, battle of the nutrients, right? Those who believe in eating vegetables and fruits, and those who have bought into the American standard diet, right? To believe that we can eat anything we want, everything we want, and that we'll be just okay. We believe that we can eat our burgers from Burger King, we can eat our onion rings from Rallies, we can eat our pizza, our fried chicken, and we think we can really go through our life and not have any consequences. But the one thing that I was taught is you violate nature, nature will surely violate you. And that's a fact. Nature is not just literally the birds, the trees, the grass. You are nature. Your cells is nature because it's nothing but bacteria. Bacteria comes from nature itself. It comes from the heavens. So you violate nature, which is yourself. Your body or your nature is going to violate you. There's nothing you can't change that. You can't change that you're a melanated genetic God. You can't change that about yourself. It is what it is. But what you can do is eat accordingly to how the Creator designed you. You can eat according to how the Creator created you. Because that's the only time we see this ease when we step outside the bounds of our code, our gene expression. When we step outside of that, you see sickness, dis-ease. That's all dis-ease is you taking the body out of its easiness or its balance. That's all it is. It's not this mythical thing of, oh, you getting attacked, although you do create that darkness and attack against you or that war against you. But ultimately, it's just you putting your body in an uneasy state. Okay, let's keep going. All right, so let's discuss this sad diet. And the point of this is to show you that even they don't believe in this diet. I'm going to show you that the diet they have given y'all, they have given us as a people, they don't even believe in it. The WHO don't believe in it. World Health Organization does not believe in the very standard diet that they have given the people, y'all. I'm going to show you. So it says this, SAD diet, which means American Standard Diet. The SAD diet is a combination of high carbohydrates. And what carbohydrates is nothing but carbon and hydrogen. That's all it is, right? And processed sugar and saturated fats diet that has to lead to an array of chronic diseases. The HHS and the USDA publish the dietary guidelines of America every 5 years and have stated, now I want y'all to really peep this. This is the people who created the dietary guidelines. This is the people who told you what true nutrition is. This is the people that told you that you need to drink milk to fatten your bones. This is the people that told you that it was okay to eat Doritos and to intake sugar. This is who told you that protein comes from meats. These are the people who told you this. So let's see what they say. The HHS and the USDA publish the dietary guidelines of America every 5 years and have stated that Americans are eating excess solid sugars, processed carbs, fat, and salt. It has been proven by medical research. Now, this ain't Mikael's research. I mean, I'm researching it, but I didn't come up with this. This is what they said. It has been proven by medical research that SAD, the American Standard Diet, is the main reason behind obesity, heart disease, and diabetes in Americans. Unfortunately, the diet is not limited to the U.S. shores. I know this for a fact. This diet has spread out through the whole entire world because everywhere you go, all Black people have the same exact diseases and the same exact issues. The main three diseases being cancer, heart disease, and diabetes. In every country, in every province, in every city where there's Black people, you're going to find those same diseases. And not only are you going to find those same diseases, you're going to find that same American Standard Diet. And unfortunately, you'll even find that in parts of Africa. Because America is not just a place, it's a system. It is a system. It's the Babylonian system. And this Babylonian system has caused our people to not only be in disarray and chaos, but it has caused us to be a sick people. Y'all follow me so far?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, good. So it says this. Unfortunately, the diet is not limited to the U.S. shores, with more nations adopting the sad diet around the world. So are the increases in chronic diseases among the populations. All these chronic diseases deviate from the healthy lifestyle of an individual. So as y'all see, and what you see here, right? If you understand a pyramid, most people look at the top as where to start, but you actually have to look at the bottom. The bottom is pretty much where you start. And what I did was I showed y'all what they specifically say on what you should eat and why and how many times you should eat it. So the first thing you see at the bottom is daily physical activity and eating with family. Now, unfortunately, a lot of us do not work out. But I will say that working out and exercise is picking up in the Black community, but a lot of us are not doing it. A lot of us is working 9 to 5s. After we get done with the 9 to 5, we going home and we stressed out, and we stress eating, and we got to do it all over again. The same chaotic cycle. The next thing they said is you need to eat your daily serving should be grains. That's interesting. Your breads, your beans, your legumes, your nuts and your seeds. This is what they say. The next thing they say is fruits and vegetables. After that, they talk about the oils. After that, fish and seafood. After that, your dairy, eggs, and cheese. After that, your meats and sweets. It's interesting that the meats is compared to sweets. How many times y'all think Black Americans eat meat a day?
About 8.
About 3 or 4 times.
About 3 to 5 times a day. According to the SAD diet, you're supposed to eat it on special occasions, right? According to the SAD diet, they believe you should eat fish and crabs and all that type of crap, a few servings per week. Cheese, you shouldn't even be eating that, and you should only be eating that in moderation, according to them. So now, where did we get this overstimulation of overeating? We got it from the very society who told us opposite of what they taught us, y'all. Why is that important? Because you cannot get around culture. The culture influences you. The culture cultivates you. The culture creates your personality. The culture creates your characteristics. The culture creates your thoughts. The culture literally creates your patterns. You see that? So we cannot get around the culture. Now we got to ask ourselves, with that being said, if this culture is causing us to be sick and die rapidly at an early age, is this culture for us? And remember, culture, the root of culture is cultivate. Cultivate means to fix or fasten something, right? To change it or shift it into the way that you have it go. So with that being said, do we believe the American culture is for us? And I'm talking about all things. I'm not even talking about just the diet, because holistic health is more than just food. It's everything. So do we believe that the standard American standard diet or the culture, the American standard culture, is it for us?
Not at all.
No.
Good. If one of y'all would have said yes, I would have kicked y'all off. No, I'm just playing. Let's keep going. All right, so now let's get to it. Importance of healing and how to heal. First thing we got to understand is this. Every cell must have a constant supply of vital substance, or what we're going to call vital minerals, such as sugar. And we already went over this. Sugar is nothing but energy. I'm not talking about processed sugar. Remember, if anything has to get processed or go through a process, it then loses its natural use. Somebody repeat that for me. I'm going to say it again. If you have to process anything, it then becomes unnatural. I'm going to say it again. If you have to process anything, it then becomes unnatural. Somebody say that for me.
You have to process anything, it becomes unnatural.
It becomes unnatural. Have to process anything, it then becomes unnatural. If it becomes unnatural, it then it loses its vitality and its naturalness. Therefore, it cannot be of use to you. So now, put that in real perspective. If I cook meat, is it in its natural use once I eat it? Am I answer that question for me?
It's not living at that point.
No.
Not even just because it's not living. But where is the somebody answer this question? Where is the vital minerals at in an animal?
In its blood.
Ooh-wee. In its
Yeah.
blood. I don't think nobody on here is a blood sucker, are you? Let me know. Anybody a blood sucker? I don't think y'all answer that even if that was true. But all crazy. So it said every cell must have a constant supply of vital substance, such as sugar, simple amino acids, which we'll go over, minerals, and oxygen, because these vital minerals help oxygenate, no different than a tree. It helps because don't fruit come from a tree or come from plants? Absolutely. So it also carries that vital oxygen as well. So it helps oxygenate the cells within itself. So it also needs to dispose of waste products, right? All carried back and forth by the blood cells. Cells carry on the many functions needed to sustain life. They are fruitful and multiply, thereby producing more cells. This requires that they take in nutrients, which they use to provide energy for the work that cells do and to make the materials that a cell or organism needs. And we know this because most people, when they get up for their 9 to 5, what is the first thing they need and why? Anybody tell me? What is the first thing most average people need before going to their 9 to 5? Why do they need it?
Coffee.
Coffee. For what?
Energy.
Energy. But does coffee actually produce energy?
No.
Now, what it does do is it actually overstimulates your thyroid and parathyroid. So it appears to be as it's giving you energy, but it's doing nothing but overstimulating you and overstimulating your glands. So really you go on this high off coffee, so by the time you come down, you're crashing. But true vitality does not crash, but it brings natural energy, which brings natural balance. Everybody with me?
Yes.
Yes. Could you repeat that sentence again, though?
Which one?
The one you just said.
I was saying that true vitality or true minerals produce natural energy. And what natural energy does is produce natural balance. It does not overstimulate you, nor deplete you, but it brings balance. Especially when you create the environment to let it flourish how it needs to. You got that?
Yes. Thank you.
All right. Keep going. All right. So most plants get this energy through the process of something called photosynthesis. Everybody say photosynthesis.
Photosynthesis.
Photosynthesis is the process by which green plants and certain other organisms transform light energy into chemical energy. Anybody know what the root word of chemical is? Anybody?
Kim?
Chem. Anybody know what chem means? Anybody know what chem means? I know one person better know what it means. You know who she is. Anybody know what chem means?
Black.
Here we go. Black. Black is what? Carbon. So what What did these plants really transform into? Light energy was transformed into carbon energy. Aren't we carbon people? Huh?
Yeah.
We're carbon people, therefore we need carbon food. What is carbon? Carbon is color. Color is also energy that brings vitality. That's why when you go into certain hospitals, they have something called color therapy, energy therapy, or carbon energy therapy. See, you got to understand, carbon is always in the center of healing or balance. You cannot have balance without carbon, or what they call melanin, or what they call sugars, sometimes what they call salts. You are the salt of the earth, right? Right? That's what that means. You are the salt of the earth. And salt has flavor, right? Or savor, as they say in the Bible. And it tells you that the earth will not live without that sweet savor. Ooh-wee. Therefore, we're showing you that there is no life without carbon. Therefore, there is no life without you. But you have to eat the right foods, the God foods, the energetic foods, the carbon foods, for you to be a light to the world. Light needs light. Light needs light. No different than fire. It becomes bigger when you put more fire on it. Same thing with light. When you put on one light switch, you'll light up a little bit, but then when you flick on another light, the whole room is lit up. So light needs more light to produce more light, to produce more light. And the light is in the code. The code is in the food. And the food is what you need to live. It is essential to your soul. Y'all follow me?
Yeah.
Right. So let's keep going. During photosynthesis in green plants, light energy is captured. So just like we are able to absorb the sunlight, and then we can then transfer into something called vitamin D, which is then transferred into energy, the plants do the same thing. This is why they grow. If you really pay attention, we grow just like a plant. We grow just like a tree. We need watering too. We need nurturing too. We need vitamins too. We need light too. You see that? And when you really get down to the nitty gritty, you will see that all things at one point in time were plant-based. All things at one point in time were plant-based. So it says, during photosynthesis in green plants, light energy is captured and used to convert water. You see that? Carbon dioxide and minerals into what? Oxygen. And what needs oxygen in the body, Nay? What needs oxygen in the body, Nay?
Cell.
Your cells. Your cells, and your cells also have cells that have organs that also produce, that need light. We see light in 3 different elements within the cell. Let's see, remember. What's the 3 elements that make up a cell, Rashad?
So 3 elements.
3 elements.
I'm trying to remember.
3 elements. EPN. Anybody remember? EPN. Somebody help Rashad. What's the 3 elements that make up a cell?
Electrons, protons, neutrons.
That's right. Electrons, protons, and neutrons. And they are what? A positive charge, a negative charge, and a neutral charge. Which charges are what, y'all? Let's hear it.
Energy.
Energy. Energy. You are an energetic being. You are nothing but vibration. You are nothing but spirit. You are nothing but nefesh. That's all you are. You are energy wrapped up in this flesh, this carnal flesh. Only here to have a humane experience. You're here to have a human experience. So yeah, that's why you have your senses, so you can touch, so you can hear, so you can smell, so you can taste.
Can I say something?
Yes, please.
It makes sense, and a lot of people they kind of dumb down the whole fruit and vegetable diet and the whole holistic and raw diet, but they realize that when they get sick, they don't crave meat, they don't crave cheese, they don't crave chicken and bread. Their body naturally craves fruits and vegetables.
That's right.
And I noticed that with my mom when she got sick. I noticed that with my children. You try to offer them porridge or you try to offer them toast. No, can I get an apple or can I get a tangerine? Can I get a banana? And a lot of people, they dumb that down, but they don't realize that that's what your body needs. That's what your body's naturally craving. So.
And really, not even your body itself. What is it craving? If it's craving fruits, then what is it then really actually craving? Is it craving? What is it craving then? What is it actually craving? It's craving hydration. It's dehydrated. Because what imagine this, Sayosha, if you out in nature too long, due to what would cause you to be thirsty in nature?
Lacking something that makes you hydrated.
No. I'm asking you in nature. What in nature would cause you to want some type of substance?
Oh, like what caused me to be thirsty or something?
Yes.
The sun.
The sun. The sun is made up of what?
Light.
It is light, but it's made up of heat, right?
Oh, yes.
And I'm pretty sure if you got too close to the sun, you will what? Burn.
Burn.
So now put that on the intercellular level. The reason that they are dehydrated or your cell is desiring hydration because it's burning due to the acid that you produce. You see how simple this is? It's simple science.
Yep.
As within, so without. It's simple science. If you go into nature and you experience something, please take heed that that's the same thing your cells are experiencing. So if you're going outside and you're outside too long, right, under the sun too long, you would then become thirsty. And then you would then want hydration to keep you what? Cool, balanced, homeostasis. Well, now imagine that in your body when you're producing too much acid. It's like you in the damn Sahara Desert and you're dehydrating your cells. And not only that, you're causing the cell or the acid to become even closer to your cells due to your lymphatic system being shut down and not doing its job because you're exposing it to too much heat when your body's supposed to be balanced. Your cells are supposed to be a coolant. That's the whole point of the neutron, to sterilize or balance the protons and electrons. Because it's too much energy. Too much energy. Does that make sense? I hope I made that perfectly clear. Does that make sense, y'all?
It was perfect.
Anybody else? Does it make sense, y'all?
Yeah.
Now you good? Atari, y'all good? Chris, you good?
Yes.
Good. Somebody just got on. Somebody just got back on. Sorry. Okay, let's keep going. I want to make sure she's back on. All right, let's keep going. All right, so let's keep going. During photosynthesis in green plants, light energy is captured and used to convert water, carbon dioxide, minerals into oxygen and energy-rich organic compounds called carbohydrates. Carbon and hydrogen. Now, when you look at the actual word, and they're telling on themselves, y'all. They're telling you this is why you got. And this is one thing I was taught.
I can't hear you.
Y'all can hear me? Can y'all hear me?
I can hear you.
Yeah,
Okay.
I can hear you.
Who said they can't hear me? Who's that?
I think that was a Tara.
Atara, can you hear me? Atara, can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me? Atara, can you hear me? Let's keep going. All right. So one thing I was taught by one of my teachers, Yaki, and actually Dr. Layla Africa used to teach this heavy. Because you know Dr. Layla Africa was heavy into the medical field. And so he was one of the first ones who really started to dive into the linguistics of the medical companies and medical entities that surrounds us. And so they put the definitions of these words right in your face. They put it right in your face. But of course, we're not going to research. We're not going to go that much in depth of what's really going on because we have been pacified to sleep and become a dependent. We become an infant to this system. We have not graduated or grown up to rely on ourselves. So of course, we're going to take in any information, any and everybody. So when you go into the etymology of these words, you will see photosynthesis literally means light put together. Now remember, scriptures say what? Can two walk together lest they be agreed? Now the message or principle in that is this. One has to be in agreement for y'all to walk together. Now imagine this. You're putting food in your mouth, your digestive system, that literally is fighting against you. Is that y'all going together or walking together? Is you and that substance walking together? Rashad?
No.
Not at all. Nay, if you're constantly having gut issues due to what you're eating, are you and the food in agreement? Nay, you there? All right, Sayosh, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Could you repeat the question?
Yeah, I was saying if you're having gut issues due to what you're eating, are you and the food in agreement?
No.
Not at all. And we have to stop ignoring these signs that's going on due to us lusting of what we want. And us lusting of what we want is causing us to stay sick. And we've taken on this thing. We only got one life to live, and so everybody got to die one day. But no holy book, no religious book ever said that you were supposed to die at 40, 50, 60 years old. No holy book says that. Anything, they all say that you at least supposed to live 100 to 120 years old. So now, if that's what your belief in your book saying, but your people dying at a different age, probably half of what it was supposed to say, who wrong? You or God? Who wrong? It's the people. The people. And it's all due to the cultural lust of what we want, y'all. So we see that photosynthesis, which photosynthesis is the plants literally transforming the light of the sun into chemical or carbonated energy. This carbonated energy, right, is used to convert water, carbon dioxide, and minerals into oxygen and energy-rich organic compounds called simple carbohydrates. So we see that light is produced in this food to bring light to the body. Okay, let's keep going. So now we have something called cell, food, and energy. They are and what's in these main minerals that's needed, or the simple amino acids. It's called the building blocks of life. No different than if you lay a brick on a house. Every time you lay a brick on top of a brick on top of a brick on top of a brick, Sayorsha, what do you eventually have? You eventually have what?
You said when you put brick on top of brick on top of brick, you eventually have
What? What will you eventually have?
a house, a foundation.
You will have a house and you have a foundation. Well, that's exactly what simple amino acids is they're bricks, they're blocks that are supposed to help establish a foundation that you're supposed to then create a solid house. That's why the scriptures say what? Establish your house on what? Rock, stone, brick, blocks, and not sand, a faulty foundation. See, when we start to really take the principles out of what we're reading, you'll realize the whole book is about you. The whole book is about you. Everything in nature was created to reflect you. The trees, a reflection of you. Plants, reflection of you. The wind, a reflection of you. The sun, reflection of you. The stars, the moon, reflection of you. The temple was a reflection of you. The high priest was a reflection of you. The menorah was a reflection of you. The drapes on the tabernacle was a reflection of you. The tabernacle itself was a reflection of you. You see that? You're not a reflection of it, but it's a reflection of you. And if you pay attention, everything was made delicate on strong foundation. And it's only when man starts to manipulate those things, when sin and when other things contrary to nature started to disrupt the order, which destroyed everything. This is simple science. The Bible is also, it's science. It's science. You learn so much about yourself in nature. Let's keep going. So it said they are carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen, oxygen, phosphorus, and sulfur. These are the building blocks of life. The first four of these are the most important, which is your carbon, your hydrogen, your nitrogen, your oxygen, as they are used to construct the molecules that are necessary to make up living cells. So y'all need to write this down. The main minerals or building blocks for simple amino acids we need are carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen, oxygen, phosphorus, and sulfur. But for the black man, also specifically, it would be iron phosphate. For the Caucasian and the Chinese man, their main mineral is zinc. Y'all should write this down. Because you never know, when you start to get into it, you may get a white man or a Chinese man who needs some healing. You need to know what their main minerals is to heal them, because their healing is going to be different than ours. Let's keep going. All right, so with that being said, you have something called essential amino acids, and you have non-essential amino acids. Non-essential amino acids are things that can be synthesized within the body. So these are actually what your body naturally produces. A lot of these come from your energy centers, like your thyroid gland, your parathyroid gland, your adrenal gland, your pituitary gland, your pineal gland, your pancreas. You see that? Your respiratory, not your respiratory, but your reproductive gland. This is what your body naturally makes up, which we would call your non-essential amino acids, meaning that you don't need anything to create these in your body. But then you have something called your essential amino acids. Your essential amino acids is what your body cannot actually produce, but what you actually need to get in food. So if that's the case, that these certain amino acids, I have to then go find out where are most of these amino acids found in. Make it simple, y'all. Make it very simple. I need carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen, oxygen, phosphorus, sulfur. I need all these things as my main mineral. Then there's other minerals that I need. Threonine, histidine, tryptophan, methionine, lysine. All these things I need. Where can I find these mostly at? You're going to find these in your fruits and your vegetables. So it says these are included in proteins that form what? Muscles. They account for 30 to 40% of essential amino acids. And what exactly is proteins? Proteins is nothing but another name for amino acids, y'all. Write that down. Proteins is nothing but another name for simple amino acids. Y'all got that? Everybody got that?
Yeah.
All right. Next, it says all amino acids are required for body growth. You see that? Since essential amino acids cannot be synthesized within the body, they have to be consumed in the form of food, y'all. So that's going to be your homework. Where can you find majority of these minerals or simple amino acids at? It's going to be part of your homework. It's going to be part of your homework. Keep going. Next. Now, I'm about to show y'all. Because remember,
I'm sorry. Can you go back to that screen?
Yeah.
I'll just screenshot it so you can keep going.
And you said that protein is just another name for, was it simple amino acids?
Simple amino acids. Yep. Atara, you got that?
Yeah, thank you.
All right, let's keep going. All right, so now, remember the lesson is called Genes by Geographical Alignment. Now, I'm going to show you, whatever your belief may be. I know most people subscribe to the Bible, so I'm going to use the Bible because that's also my foundation as well. I'm going to show y'all, even Adam, how he also, not only was he created in a geographical location, but his DNA was also created from that geographical location. Now, when you go into the book of Genesis, chapter 2, verse 7, it says this: and the Lord God formed man of the clay, of the soil. And the Lord God formed man of the clay of the soil and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life. And man became, now it says living soul. When you go into soul, which is nefesh, it literally means consciousness. And man became a living consciousness. Now, what I have here at the bottom is the Hebrew word for life, which is kai, or I know some people in the Hindu culture, or even the Chinese culture, they use the word chi, right? Chi actually comes from the Hebrew word kai. So it says, kai means life. Now let's look what life means. Let's see what he said he gave him. He said he gave him life. Let's see, he said living, alive, green of vegetation. So what helped give him life is vegetation. Flowing, fresh water. We know the body is made of what? 95% water, or 87% of the lower half, well, from the neck down, 87% water. Your head is 95% water. So that means your body is made of electrolytes from fresh, or what we're going to call spring mineralized water. Also, it says lively or activated, man, reviving of the springtime, right? Which springtime reflect what, y'all? What does springtime reflect?
Newness of life.
Newness of life, and what else? Nature. Springtime reflects nature. So the origin of the human or the light being was from nature. And all things that revolve around nature was created for him. Even when you have to kill something, you take it away from its nature, because you've never seen an animal literally cut it. You've never seen an animal cut, skin, or gut its food and then cook it. You've never seen that. But what you have seen by nature is it kills the animal while it's alive and then gets most of its nutrients or minerals eating the meat raw, because the minerals or the life is in the blood. So how did we come to the how did we come to the conclusion that humans was created, fastened, molded to eat meat? Now we can't say we have adapted to an environment and started eating meat. We can say that we were constructed and reformed to eat meat in our minds, because even our body attests against us that we are not created to eat meat. We're not. So now, with that being said, if Adam was created with an environment, he was created from that environment. Let's see what else was given to Adam. Now it's going to call man's geographical food connection. This is Genesis chapter 2, verse 9 through 15. It says this: and out of the ground made the Lord God to grow every tree that is pleasant to the sight and good for food, the tree of life also in the midst of the garden, and the tree of knowledge of good and evil. And a river went out of Eden to water the garden. To water what? The garden. What's in the garden? Food and everything thereof. And from this it was parted and became into 4 heads. So these rivers literally circumferenced the garden. It circumferenced the garden. And if you know anything about Africa, most people get the most freshest foods. Come on, fresh fruit around rivers, because the water is nourishing the trees the best out of all parts of the world. The best water that we can drink for our vitality is spring water, which is a river, because water gets its minerals from the rocks. Okay? So it says this: and the river went out of Eden to water the garden, and from this it was parted and became into 4 heads. The name is first Pison, and that is which compassed the whole land of Avila, where there is gold. So we see mineral circumference. We see a location of Avila, and the gold of that land is good. And there is Bedelium and the onyx stone. And the name of the second river is Gihon. When you look up Gihon, you will also see it's called the Nile River or the Ethiopic Nile. Now, when you look at the same, it is that compassed the whole land of Ethiopia. But when you look at the Hebrew, it says Cush. And the name of the third river is Hiddekel, which also is pretty much circumferences what they call the so-called Middle East, which you'll find out is also part of Africa. It's called Northeast Africa. That is it, which goes forth towards the east of Assyria. Here we go, another location. And the fourth river is Euphrates. And the God took the man and put him into the garden. So now the Most High put Adam into a place, a geographical place that was circumferenced with rivers. And these rivers watered the garden. And this garden produced vegetables and fruits. And now we're going to see if that is the case. I'm going to ask y'all, by these locations, where can we say Adam was created at?
Africa.
Africa. So before I go to the next slide, I want to show y'all something. I'm going to shout out Nay. And me and Nate been talking about this for a little bit. I'm going to show y'all something. Y'all see this screen?
Yeah.
So we have something called a mitochondria Eve gene, and we have something called the Y chromosome Adam. If you know anything about the Y chromosome is the only chromosome that is passed. Only men can pass this gene. Only the man can pass this specific gene, and it only goes through the man, and it does not curve. It's a straight line. It constantly gets passed down through the generations to the generations to the generations to the generations. Okay, y'all follow me? Y'all with me?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So let's read. It says this. In human genetics, the Y chromosome, most recent common ancestor, YMRCA, informally known as the Y chromosome Adam, is the patrilineal most recent common ancestor, from whom all current living humans are descended. Now, I'm going to ask y'all again, based upon where we see Adam, Where was Adam created at?
Africa.
Africa. It said all living beings come from Adam, which means all living beings at some point are connected to what area?
Africa.
Africa. He is the most recent male from whom all living humans are descended through an unbroken line of their male ancestors. The term YMRCA reflects the fact that the Y chromosome of all current living human males are directly derived from the Y chromosome of this remote ancestor. The analog concept of the matriarchal or matrilineal most recent common ancestor known as the mitochondrial Eve. We'll get into that too. The most recent woman from all living humans are descended maternally. As with the mitochondrial Eve, the title Y chromosome is not permanently fixed to a single individual. Let's keep going with the next one I want to show you. Show you. But you know what? It's in the what's name. I want to show y'all this too. That's what it was. Now let's go to mitochondrial Eve. Mitochondrial Eve gene is a maternal most recent common ancestor of all living, which obviously Eve in the Hebrew is Kawah, which means mother of all living. In other words, she is defined as the most recent.
Attention, your battery is running low. Please plug in the power adapter now.
So it says this: she is defined as the most recent human from all living humans, descended in an unbroken line, purely through their mothers and through the mothers of those mothers, back into all lines. Now here's the deep part, y'all. In terms of the mitochondrial haplogroup, the MRCA is situated at the divergence of the macro-hypo. Y'all ain't gonna know what that is. It said as of 2013. Estimates on the age of this split ranged at 155,000 years ago and consisted with a date later than the species of homeostasis, but earlier than the recent out of Africa dispersal. Y'all see that? They saying that they literally find the most earliest trace of DNA, which they would call the mitochondrial Eve gene, in Africa. And here's the crazy part. I want y'all to look to the right on the map. What do y'all see? Where is the M located?
Like Eastern Africa.
Yeah, this whole little part right here is what you would actually consider Northern East Africa. East Africa is more like right here. This would be more, and if you see the arrow, where's the arrow point, y'all? Where's the arrow point? Which says that this gene right here, it ranges from right here all the way to over here, y'all, which is the exact same location. The exact same location as Adam, y'all. What's y'all thoughts on that? You might talk to me. What's y'all thoughts?
I think that with that information, we can heal all types of people because we have a common ancestor.
Here we go. Here we go. We can heal all type of people. Anybody else? What's y'all thoughts? What's y'all thoughts? Anybody? Anybody out there? What's y'all thoughts on that? We'll keep going. All right. So what is the original human geographical food? Well, let's see what Adam was given. And God said, behold, I've given you every herb bearing seed, which is upon the face of all the earth, and every tree, in the which is the fruit of a tree yielding seed. To you it shall be meat, or when you really go to the word, it shall be food. So what we have come to conclusion with is this. Based upon biblical research, based upon historical or geographic research, we see not only does the mother and father of us all come from Northeast Africa, but we also see that they were given a specific diet for their light being bodies. They were given light, cold foods, y'all. Foods that produce light and not death. Foods that produce life and not death. And this is not to speak against anybody who eat meat or nothing like that. I'm just bringing out facts. But when it comes to healing, when it comes to balance, when it comes to homeostasis, you only really start to see that when they get on the fruits and vegetables, bro. And really more so the fruits and the vegetables. Because really vegetables is nothing but herbs. Herbs is used for the healing of the nation. You don't need to be healed if you're already balanced. So we can say without a shadow of a doubt that we are genetically created to be fruitarians. Let's keep going. Now, this is the importance of proper food combination. I first learned this from Yaki. It's called this is the process. It's the 4 elements. The 4 elements of balance in the body: digestion, absorption, utilization, and elimination. Digestion, absorption, utilization, elimination. If you do not have this flow going on, these 4 elements going on in your body, you will have imbalance in the body, y'all. So it says, one of the least talked about methods of bringing balance to the body, yet it is the most important part of either eliminating disease or creating disease, is proper food combination, which will be the determining factor if your body is able to digest, absorb, utilize, and eliminate. Depending on the food combination, can even make or disrupt the pH level of the digestive tract. The most important rule of food combination is combining based on its genetic light code. And we're going to get into that. And frequency. And always remember, just like you have a unique code specifically for your phone, there's also a unique code that your bodies carry along with the substance. We consume all frequencies. Just because it's a frequency doesn't mean it goes with every frequency. Also keep in mind, the gut can only digest one type of food at a time. That's very important, y'all. But we out here eating pancakes, eggs, swine, drinking juice all at the same time. And we really think that our bodies is digesting properly. I was taught this 3 years ago. You are not supposed to be drinking while you're eating, because you literally can disrupt your digestive system, because now your digestive system don't know what to do. I'm telling you, in this time, the human body is more conscious than the human consciousness today, than the modern consciousness today. The fact that it knows what to do even to this day, you still haven't figured out, shows you that. So now we gotta meet the frequency of our body so that we can bring total balance to this host, or this vessel that we're in, that our spirits is within right now. So it said again, always keep in mind the gut also, the gut can only digest one type of food at a time, and without proper food combination, not only will your body not be able to absorb, but now it must produce gastric acid to try to even pierce the food combination you just consumed, which means now your body has to produce more acid because you put these complex food combinations in your body. It has to produce more acid to try to even break down this food in the proper manner, which it never does. So now you just add some type of acid, and it's not going nowhere, which produces what? Inflammation. It produces inflammation. Let's keep going. The next. So now, with that being said, what is the actual benefits of proper food combination? With proper food combination, it will promote proper digestion. It will increase levels of absorption in the body. Why? Because now it's not sitting here trying to figure out what should it absorb or break down first, but because you made this simple combination easy for the body, it just increases the absorption, which means it increases the metabolism, which keeps the body fat down. It also will prevent food fermentation. Why is that? Because again, I'm gonna give you an example. I think I said this 2 weeks ago. If you're sitting here eating fruits, you're eating rice, and you're eating meat, right? Your body is made simple. Your body is always going to take the most simplest route first to make it easier for itself and deal with the other problems later. With that being the case, from rice, fruits, and vegetables, rice, fruits, and meat, Rashad, what will your body first absorb first or digest first?
The fruits digest the quickest.
So what do you think will happen with the rice and meat while it's getting digested?
Like you said, it would cause a disruption in the breakdown of it.
It will sit. It will sit in this little sack, and most of the time it's sitting in the colon. It's sitting there. And guess what? Once it starts to ferment, not only does it produce, no, it's like this. Nay, if you left a banana on your counter for 4 days, mind you, your window's not open, ain't no bugs in your house, none of that. What will you start to see around that banana? Is Nate still on? Is Nate still on the phone? Oh, Nate, y'all.
I don't see it.
Chris. I'm gonna ask Chris. If you sat a banana on a counter and your window's not open, ain't no bugs get in, and it's just sitting there for 4 days, what will it start to produce?
I think it would start. I would think it would start to rot, and you start to see gnats.
You will start to see what they call fruit flies. That's exactly right. So now imagine if you take meat, and I don't know if you've ever seen it before. You take meat and you throw it in the garbage and let it sit there for some days. Not only is it going to produce maggots, but guess what else it's going to produce, y'all? Anybody can guess? Anybody guess what else it's going to produce? Fayosha, what will it produce?
So we said gnat, we said fruit flies. What else we said?
I said if meat is sitting there for a few days, out and about, not no freezing nothing. Not only will it start producing maggots, what else could it possibly start producing?
Bacteria.
Bad bacteria, but most importantly, it will produce worms.
Oh.
It will produce worms. If you don't believe me, go buy some meat. This can be your experiment too. Go buy some meat from a farmer. Don't do it at a store because it'll take actually a lot longer. Actually, no, you can buy it from a store too. Go buy some meat. Go get you a box. Put the meat in the box. Leave it there for a week, then come back and see what you see. See what you see. You will see maggots and you will see worms. So now imagine that you're eating meat, you're eating rice, and you're eating fruits. And the body is breaking down the fruits, and then the next thing it's going to break down is the rice, because the rice is actually a lot easier to break down than the meat. What do you think that meat is going to be producing in your body? Maggots and worms. Which worms is nothing but pathogens. Pathogens is nothing but parasites. So you see what bad food combinations can cause you to do? You see that? So it says, and that's what fermentation is. On top of it producing alcohol and acids that it shouldn't produce. It says Also, with proper food combination, you could actually prevent bloating and discomfort. Will also keep weight balance and prevent overproduction of gastric acid, reduces acid reflux, which acid reflux is that little acid that pops into your mouth after eating too much and you kind of swallow it back. Also prevents toxics and disease buildup. You should never combine fruits with vegetables, nor vegetables with grains, nor grains with dairy, nor dairy with meat. Study shows that fruit out of all food substances is the best absorbed and utilized nutrients that the body can naturally use. I'll say it again, that the body can naturally use. Scientists, medical researchers are saying the same exact thing. Of course, they're not going to outright tell you all, but they're telling you all. Fruits is the best natural food for those of the descendants of the Y chromosome called Adam and the mitochondria E DNA called Kuwa. Those who descend from them, the best thing for your body to naturally use, which is utilized, is fruits. This is not just me saying it. You can research it and find out your doctors are now saying this. Your researchers are now saying this. Fruits is the best thing for mankind. This is why they are purposely taking the seeds out of the fruits. Makes sense now, doesn't it? So then it says this, but we even then must consider with even fruit, there are certain fruits you cannot consume due to its genetic code and function. Now, examples is this. Berries, which is considered an antioxidant, which is really a lot of electricity, which brings electricity and calmness to your nervous system, and also can bring oxygen to the cells. Berries are very good for your kidneys. Berries are very good for your pancreas. Berries are very good for your adrenal glands. And berries are very, very good for your prostate and your heart. Very good. So if you really want to heal that heart, you really want to bring calmness to that nervous system, you're dealing with anxiety and depression, you really, really want to make sure that you're cleansing out your reproductive organs, berry diet. Let me not use the word diet. Berry living. A berry living. So it says berries should not be consumed with melons. Why? Melons are rebuilders. It's hydration. So if you're using berries to heal and bring oxygen to the cells, and melons are there to rebuild, you can actually disrupt the healing. That's why if you ever been on one of my fruit cleanses, Rashad, what do I tell you to do?
On all fruit eating style.
All fruit eating style. Do I ever tell you to eat astringent fruit with berries?
No.
Do I ever tell you to eat melons with berries?
No.
Do I ever tell you to eat melons with astringent fruit?
No.
And why do I tell you not to do those things?
Because it can cause an acidic reaction in the body.
It can cause an acidic reaction and disruption with the body. Now, don't get me wrong. There are certain fruits that you can mix, but you have to know the constituents of that fruit. You can't just be out here matching any type of fruit. Nah, it's like just because we all black or melanin don't mean we all go together. It's only a certain. It's somebody. Anybody can have somebody, but that one somebody is not for everybody. Same thing with the fruit. You can't match every fruit with every fruit or any fruit. You can disrupt the frequency. You can disrupt the vibration. You can disrupt the healing and the perfectness and the balance. And you can cause disruption. It's not to say that's a bad man or it's a bad woman. Maybe y'all just wasn't meant to be together. That's why you get an acidic environment and an acidic reaction. Y'all would not naturally put together. No different than you eating papaya with watermelons. If you start having stomach ache and you pooping your life away and you just sitting there holding your stomach, it's because you mix two frequency fruits that ain't supposed to go together because they have two different lifestyles and they have two different purposes and functions that don't go together. So of course you're going to disrupt the balance in your body because you put two natural things together that don't go together, they don't mesh. Y'all understand that?
Yeah, makes a lot of sense.
Yes.
So even eating fruit the wrong way, vegetables the wrong way can hurt you. We got people out here eating fruit vegetable salads. Me personally, that don't taste good to me. It don't even make sense. I don't like fruit and vegetables. And here's the crazy thing: before I got conscious with it, I didn't like it then. Now I know why. My genetic code was kicking in like that ain't right. That ain't proper nutritional values. It don't make sense. One is used to rebuild, the other one is used to cleanse. So if I'm putting both of these together, do you think my body gonna know which one to do it? Should I cleanse first or should I rebuild? Should I rebuild first or should I cleanse? Nah, it's gonna sterilize itself, and what it's gonna try to work itself out, but you're gonna do more harm than good. Unless you know, again, the constituents of the fruits and vegetables, and then therefore know how to actually match them together. But a lot of people don't know that. And that's why we say stick to a certain category at a time. Because you don't know how to put the combination together. And that does take time to learn.
So I remember the chart that you had. I think it was last class. You had like 3 different groups of fruits together. So basically, the ones that's in the same category are the ones that we could put together, and
right.
Just keep the other ones separate, basically.
Right, because they all have the same function.
Right.
Pineapples, just like a papaya, is able to repair and cleanse out the gut. See that?
Yeah.
You have berries, you have blueberries and blackberries. They're both good to bring oxygen to the cell and bring calmness to the nervous system and bring electricity. So you can eat those together. Melons hydrate the body. It hydrates and builds and restructures the cells. See that?
Mm-hmm.
It all works together. Let's keep going. All right, so I think that's it for the most part on that. So before we move to the next phase of class, which is the last phase, anybody got any questions? Anybody got any questions?
I'm just noticing. I mean, I already knew about the proper food combination thing, but so my question to you is, what do your meals look like?
Say it one more time for me.
What do your meals look like?
That last part is kind of breaking up.
I want to know, what do your meals look like? What's your typical meal?
Can y'all hear me?
Besides fruit.
Huh? Can y'all hear what she said? It was breaking up. All I heard was
kind of low.
Okay, it was low for y'all too. Okay. But Tara, you may have to. I don't know if you need to get in a new area or something, because you kind of break it up.
Look like she typed it in the chat.
Oh, there we go. Okay. What does my typical daily meal look like? So pretty much for me, most of the time, the first thing I'm eating is watermelon. I typically don't eat nothing until 12 o'clock, except fruits. After that, I'll eat a salad. Main time, I'll eat a salad. So my salad really consists of kale. Like today, we had carrots, avocados. Even though avocados is a fruit, but it's a rebuild. Avocados is a fruit, but it's a rebuild, like vegetables. Some kale, lettuce, tomatoes, also a fruit, but it's also a rebuilder as well. That's what I'm talking about. When you know proper food combination, you'll know what to put together. What else was there? Avocados, purple cabbage. That's pretty much it. That was my lunch. And usually I only typically eat, as far as big meals, I only eat twice a day, if that. Most of my day consists of fruits and nuts, cashews, walnuts, things of that nature.
What do you eat with your big meals? Like,
so like it depends. I may have like a chickpea burger, but it may consist of spell flour. So I ain't gonna lie to y'all serious say I'm totally perfect. No. I got my meals too. I got my addictions too, which is my addictions ain't necessarily bad food. My addictions is cooked food. See? But majority of the day I'm pretty much raw. I'm raw most of the day. And so my meals is really switch. Sometimes I may just have a salad. I may just have a salad for dinner. Like last night, I did nothing but raw foods. I had fruits and I had a vegetable wraps. That's all I eat. Tonight they're supposed to be doing like a Philly shroom sandwich, something like that. Spelt book or spell wrap or something. So predominantly I keep it vegetables with vegetables, fruits with fruits. And I may mix in some grains here and there like quinoa, chickpeas, even some wild rice sometimes.
Mm-hmm. Are you interested in like going to a raw diet ever?
Absolutely. I'm actually gonna be transitioning within the next month, so I just want to make sure I get settled. But I'm going to be experiment with as a breatharian, as they say.
Yeah, I saw. It's interesting.
So that's the next level I want to test out. Honestly, I believe that at some point, man, like the Bible says, man shall not live by bread alone. So that says that there's more to us. There's more we can live off of than just food itself. Because remember, food. If Adam was a living being, right, and he only at the time he eat fruits, we see that clearly is needed for energy. That's the whole thing. We keep it simple. The whole thing is about energy, obtaining and absorbing, utilizing energy. So, can we find energy outside of food? What would y'all say?
Yeah, for sure.
And one of the most energetic compounds that we have is called what, y'all?
Or is it like oxygen? Water.
Organic compound. We got water, but what's more powerful than water? Melanin.
Oh.
Carbon. Carbon is the most biggest absorber in the world. It absorbs everything. This is why we got to be careful what we watch, what we see, what we touch, what we hear, what we eat, because we absorb everything that we see. So now imagine you surrounding yourself with nothing but energetic forces of nature. You think, and mind you, there's a difference between somebody like really, really starving and then somebody just craving food. So do you think that you would actually be starving in nature?
I don't think so. Because even like when I'm like outside and I'm like, running errands or I'm like out and about, generally when I'm doing that, I'm less hungry than if I'm like in the house sitting. Like when I'm in the house sitting, I'm just thinking and I'm just like, okay, let me go eat. But yeah.
I think I spelled that right. Breatharian. Or breatharian, I think it was called. Breatharian. Everybody research that. Breatharian. Y'all see. And no, these people is not just people who literally don't eat. Some of the people I saw they would fast for like 2 or 3 days or even 7 days, and they'll choose one day to eat. And they're mainly consuming like juices, water, vegetables, and they right back on the fast.
Yeah, I had like watched a couple of videos and stuff about breatharians and like what they did, because I'm interested in going to a raw diet too, and if I could, to the breatharian route as well. I'd be practicing it here and there, but it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean that's the whole thing about being a healer. And the herbalist, you got to practice everything. If I'm talking to somebody breatharian, I want to be able to experience and know what I'm talking about when somebody asks me about it. Somebody talking about fruit cleanse, I want to be able to say, hey, yeah, I know what a fruit cleanse feel like. No different than a police officer. With the police academy, they literally make everybody get a taser so that they could tell you in the court, if they taser somebody, they'll be able to say, yeah, I've experienced being tasered before. So we should apply the same principle when it comes to being a healer or talking about health. We should be able to say, if we're going to suggest things to people, we should be able to say, hey, yeah, I did that before. I've experienced that before. This is how I feel. See what I'm saying? Atara, what you talking about? You can attest to what? Oh, okay, I got you. Oh, that's right. I forgot. Yeah, that's right. He used to be one as well. Okay. All right. So, quick question: Who on here received their capsule maker? Who received their capsule maker?
I did not.
Anybody else?
Oh, I have mine.
No? Okay, it's all good. I know Tara, me and you talk. Chris, I believe me and you talk. All right, so I'm gonna keep it simple. This is, I don't know if I want to take a picture, but this is called the all-in capsule. This is exactly what I use. I pretty much use the 00 capsules because they're not too big and they're not small enough to lose. I use the all-in capsule machines, not that much. Yeah, there you go. Yep. And I use also the vegetarian vegan capsules because these are actually made from plants that we research. So you see, we keep everything organic. I've been trying to find it. If y'all find hemp seed capsules, let me know. I've been trying to find them. Can't find them nowhere. But that's typically what I would like to use, the hemp capsule. So if y'all can find hemp capsules, I would actually prefer y'all to use those over these.
You said it's called hemp capsules?
Hemp, like the plant. Hemp capsule.
Okay.
Yep. All in capsule. All right. So now I want y'all to write this down. I'm about to give y'all a ratio. I'm about to give y'all a compound too. Write this down. It's going to be called the vitamin compound. The vitamin compound. Y'all ready? Type a 7 in the chat when y'all ready for the compound. Read your ratio in the compound. All right, let's get it. All right, so this is the basic ratio. I personally use 12 to 14 different herbs. I would not suggest that to y'all just yet until you get comfortable and you know what you're doing. One of the most important things you must know is not only the nutrients that the herbs carry, but you need to know the function of it. Every herb does not work for every body part. Let me say that again. Every herb does not work for every body part. Every herb does not work for every body part. So the ratio I usually use is called 1 to 14. 1 to 14. The ratio y'all should start with is 1 to 5. 1 to 5. If y'all got the books I told y'all, the Encyclopedia of Herbal Medicine, this ratio is in that book towards the end. The ratio is 1 to 5. Ratio is 1 to 5. Now, this is what that ratio looks like. Write this down. The number 1 represents the main herb. The number 1 represents the main herb. Number 1 represents the main herb. The 5 represents how many different herbs you will be using. The 5 represents how many herbs you will be using. If y'all got that? Say got it in the chat. Y'all got that? Say got it in the chat. Cool. All right. Now, with this 5-to-1 ratio, you can set the standard. Remember, the 5-to-1 ratio is only dealing with the herbs. You can set the standard with the 5 herbs. Now, with that being said, let's say we're using, this is a simple form. You can use milliliters, you can use ounces, you can use those things. Centimeters or whatever you need to use. You want to make sure it's a balance in it. So let's just use 1 to 5. Let's say I'm going to take each one. Like, so we got 5. Each one represents a cup. Each one represents a cup. Y'all see that?
Yeah.
So let's take this. What I'm about to give y'all is one of my vitamin mixes. So the first one, obviously, see, y'all forget the presentation if I just got the plane. So sea moss. Y'all see that? Sea moss. Another one, bladderwrack. Another one, alfalfa leaf. Alfalfa leaf. This is when you want somebody who want to gain weight, put on muscle. Alfalfa leaf is definitely fire for that. Bladderwrack is good for balancing and stimulating that thyroid gland, the parathyroid gland. It helps produces a lot of calcium. It also helps with the adrenal glands. And it also helps with the pituitary gland. Sea moss, y'all know, carries a lot of minerals. Helps with vitality. It helps bring oxygen to the cells. It also helps remove mucus out of the body. It helps stimulate the nervous system and the pineal gland. It also helps balance the parathyroid and thyroid gland. And it also helps with your weight. Many more of that. And mind you, all of these, everything I just showed you, every last one of them contain iron phosphate. Keep that in mind. Remember, we talking about minerals, simple amino acids, energy. All these have iron phosphate. Another one, moringa, good for bringing vitality, good for balancing the energy centers, which is called the glands. It's very, very good for balancing the blood levels. Very good for oxygenating cells. It's very good for weight. It's very good for also very good for cleaning out the teeth as well. Very good for that. So this is very good. It's full of iron phosphate, full of potassium, full of calcium. So those are the main herbs. That's not all of them, but that's just some examples. So what you would do is this. Remember the 5 ratio. 5 ratios mean 5 cups. So now what I'm going to do, y'all write this down. I'm going to choose sea moss as my main herb. Now with this, with your main herb, out of the 5, you can use as much cups as you want. Me, typically, if I'm using a 5 ratio, I'm going to use 2 cups of sea moss. You understand that? If you understand that, say got it. You understand that? Everybody got that? So with sea moss, if that's gonna be my main herb, I'm using 2 cups of that. That means I got 3 more cups to use on top of 4 more herbs to use. So now that means I got to split up 3 cups between 4 herbs. Now I'm going to use the second best when it comes to vitality and minerals, because seaweed is the best herbs for bringing vitality and minerals to the body. I'm going to use next bladderwrack. So I'm going to use 1 cup of bladderwrack. Y'all got it? The next, and I don't have it here with me, the next I'm going to use is Dulce. Dulce is D-U-L-C-E. I'm going to use Dulce. As y'all see, when it comes to vital minerals, I'm using a lot of seaweed. I'm using a lot of things from the ocean because it's in the midst of water collecting minerals and salts. And it's getting hit by the sun a lot, especially on them shores. I'm going to use 1, so we're going to go through it again. We're using 5 cups. I'm going to use 2 cups of sea moss, 1 cup of bladderwrack, 1 cup of Dulce. The next I'm going to use, we got what that's 4 cups so far. Half a cup of alfalfa leaf. This is gonna be part of my rebuilding, toning up the muscles, toning up the organs. I'm gonna use half a cup of alfalfa leaf. Which brings me to the next one. I'm gonna use half a cup of moringa leaves or moringa powder. Now, usually, and then remember, y'all are gonna be your own herbalist, so you can do your own compound. But usually, I use 1 herb that brings balance to the blood too, because that's where everything gets dumped off in is to the blood. So I always make sure I use a herb that brings balance to the blood, that keeps balance to the blood. And usually I'm using like elderberry, or I'm going to use burdock root, because burdock root is loaded. It's loaded with iron phosphate. So you see what I'm mainly dealing with, especially when it comes to our people. I'm dealing with a lot of iron phosphate because iron actually brings oxygen to the cells. That's one of the main minerals that bring oxygen to the cells. So of course I'm going to load up vital minerals in my compounds with a lot of iron phosphate. Anybody got any questions so far? Anybody got any questions so far? All right. So next thing I usually do, the best thing to really blend it up in is like a Vitamix. This one is called an Ace. But the best thing to do is blend it in a Vitamix. It actually helps break it down. It usually has this little thing on the Vitamix, right in the middle, with these sharp blades that cut through it. And it's a very, very good blender. I already got something in there already. So what you're going to do after that is, what I usually do is I blend it straight for 1 minute, and then I pulse blend it for 30 seconds and blend it for 1 more minute, and then I start to capsulate. So now, before I move on to capsulate, does everybody understand that? Already got a mix in here. Everybody understand that? If y'all can unmute yourself real quick, please.
Yes.
Atara, you understand? Atara. Chris, y'all understand?
Yes.
Atara, you there?
I'm here.
Did you get it?
The last thing I heard was you talking about you blending the herbs and the vitamins.
Okay, so I said I'll blend the herbs for 1 minute straight, and then I pulse blend it for 30 seconds, and then I blend it again fully for 1 minute, and then I start to capsulate.
Okay, I got that. I got all that.
Okay.
And these are the herbs. Do you do the burdock that way too? Seeing that burdock is the root?
Yeah, so usually with the burdock, we either sift it ourselves or I have a trusted source that ground it for me.
Oh, okay.
And this trusted source is in Africa.
I believe it.
All right, so now, if everybody got that, we're going to move on to capsulating. It's very, very simple. I'm not going to do too much because it's very simple. I'm not going to do a lot of it. Okay, everybody see that?
Yeah.
Can everybody see that?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, so now, what I usually do, I'm only going to put a few on here, but I usually kind of spread them out like this. Just a few of them. It's very simple. All you do, encapsulate it. You put the longer one right in here. And you put the smaller, the top of it. The top. You put the top. Everybody see the top?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
You put it in here. Y'all see that?
Yeah.
Everybody see that or no? Maybe.
Yes.
All right. I ain't gonna do all these. I'm gonna show y'all next. Now, once you put your powder on top, all you're gonna do is this. You want to make sure it's very smooth. So you want to kind of overcompensate on the powder inside so you can smooth it down. Once it's smoothed down, you take this off, especially if it's too much, and put it back into the bowl, wherever you use it. Swipe it in and make sure you don't take the top off. Once you do that, you can put two more here actually. Boom, boom. Too bad, y'all. Put that back in there. Boom. That down. So then, what you're gonna do? Y'all gonna have one of these. Y'all see this part right here? Or this part?
Yeah.
Always make sure that it's up. You see how it's up?
Mm-hmm.
This is gonna be an indicator that you're doing it right. It should never be like this. It should never be like this. It will slip off. It should be like this. Y'all see that?
Yeah.
Now, once you have your powder all right, and keep in mind, y'all want to make sure it's always filled to the top. Don't be shady, halfway fill it, or you need to top it off. You know how we used to be in the bar. I need to be topped off. You need to top off your capsules too. Make sure it's enough herbs for your clients, okay? Especially if it's in powder form, you can get a lot in there. Once you do that, you put it down and you want to softly. Y'all heard that? Did y'all hear that noise?
Yes.
That means it connected, but you want to make sure it's secure. So I usually do this. I start at the top, work my way back. And I usually do this for about 30 seconds. I just want to make sure. should be able to go all the way down. Y'all should be able to see the nails. Y'all see the nails?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. And just keep doing that for 30 seconds. I'll take the black part off first to make sure. Y'all see the capsules on there now?
Mm-hmm.
Then I'll take this off, move this to the side, and boom, we have capsules. That's simple, right?
Yeah.
And now you have a whole Vitamix now. Now I'll engage y'all a recipe with vitamins that you can take on a daily basis. Any questions so far? Or any questions at all, let me say?
Nope.
All right, family. Well, that's the end of the course. That's the end of the course for the day. Anybody got any comments? Tell me what you learned, what you got. Is there something that you did not understand? There's something that could slow down on you want to get some better understanding on? I'm opening up the floor. Any comments or questions? Tell me what you learned.
Learn a better understanding on food combinations.
Yeah. Same. I think I would like to go more in depth, like on the digestion, absorption, utilization, and elimination, just to see like how the body specifically does that and how we can help the body do it correctly and in a balanced way.
Got you. Okay. So digestion. Let me see if you remember, Cyrus. Where does digestion start at?
Your mouth.
Starts at your mouth. So your body goes through a process of digestion. It then goes into the pancreas. Through the pancreas, that's where it secretes these enzymes. And what these enzymes does, it takes pretty much the nucleus of the food, which is the nutrients, which is the minerals, and then it starts to extract with this enzyme. It starts to actually extract the minerals, and through that, it then gets dumped into the blood cells. The blood cells start to distribute the minerals throughout the cells. That's why if y'all ever watch Yaki, he says the blood is the kitchen and the lymphatic system is the waste system. I don't know if
Is Yaki has locks?
Yeah.
Okay, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah. So he usually says that the blood is the kitchen and the lymphatic system is the waste system. So the blood cells carry out the minerals to each cell, so that it can start utilizing it to produce or reproduce more cells and more energy. Once the cells are done eating, it then poops and it sits on top of the cells. And then what happens in your lymphatic system then releases something called the lymph nodes. The lymph nodes goes around literally sweeping off, just no different than you taking a baby wipe and you sweeping off the poop off the baby's bottom. That's what the lymph nodes do. It literally sweeps and takes all the acid and all the waste that it did not use from the foods, and it actually eats it up, and it produces acid in these lymph nodes so that it then can actually be released or ejected or eliminated out of the anus or out of the kidney through kidney filtration, which uses it takes the metabolic waste of the cells and uses the urine to eliminate out of the body. So now when you really get down to that process, and now that you know that it's not really the food per se that your body is using, but it's actually the nucleus, which is the minerals and vitamins, right? And we went over this 2 classes ago. It's the minerals and vitamins need. If you're eating foods that don't have that due to its complex nature or due to its acid forming nature, then what is it doing? At that point, then what is it doing? What is the point of that food then? If it actually has nothing in vitality that your body needs, then what can the body do with it? And then what does that do to the body? you'll start to become something called mineral deficient, right? Which most black people, a lot of black people are dealing with what? Sickle cell anemia. The root word is sickle is sick. And it starts to dehydrate itself because it's not getting enough oxygenated foods to help it reproduce and flourish at its optimum level. So digestion, absorption, utilization, elimination. If you're not doing those 4 elements in the body, you create disease.
Got it. How do we know which of those our body is like struggling with though?
I mean, it's simple. The body will tell on itself. You're having headaches, you're having fever, you're producing a lot of mucus in the morning.
Yeah.
If you overweight, if you're not gaining enough weight, you know, excessively sweating.
I guess I'm asking, like, how do I know whether I have an absorption or utilization problem?
They all work synonymously. You can't have one without the other.
Right. Okay.
Meaning this, obviously you digesting. So this how it's like a ripple effect. If I'm supposed to be digesting, so let's say I can't digest. That means that I know for a fact that my pancreas is not able to absorb. If I'm not able to absorb, that means I'm not able to utilize. If I'm not able to utilize, I cannot eliminate. Therefore, you become backed up. You have a stagnated lymphatic system, and also you have a stagnated kidneys, which then means you also have a stagnated colon.
Yeah.
It works hand in hand. Remember, I said there's always one. If there's something wrong with one thing, there's always something wrong with what?
Another. It's like an assembly line. Okay.
Assembly line. They all work together.
All right.
So meaning is, I'll make it even more simple. If you're having a digestive issue, how do we know you're having a digestive issue? You have something called acid reflux. See that? If you have an absorption issues, you have something called constipation. If you have utilization issues, you have something called mineral deficiency. If you have elimination issues, you're going to have bloating. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Good question, too. Very good question. Anybody else? Any comments or questions? What have you learned? Anybody?
I just wanted to say, when you get a chance, can you as soon as the class is over, can you send me the link, because I had to drop out.
Yeah, I got you. Anybody else? Rashad, Tara, Chris, what y'all got?
I remember earlier you had mentioned something about with the food combination, something about occasionally you would do like quinoa. What would you like place with that? Because I remember the chart was saying not to add like vegetables with it. So what would you like place with that?
With quinoa, I would pretty much eat it by itself, or I may add something like onions, green onions, purple onions, things of that nature.
All right, cool.
Wait, why not add vegetables with quinoa?
Because quinoa is considered mainly a grain. So if you're eating a lot of vegetables with that, it can disrupt the absorption and utilization.
Okay.
And you really shouldn't be eating so much of quinoa or chickpeas anyway, because you eat too much of it, it will create an acid. Reaction.
I'm sad about that. I planned on living off chickpeas. You just ruined my plans.
And chickpeas, you gotta make sure you sprout them. If you eat them with the shell on it or the case on it, it really can cause some acid forming environment within yourself.
And that was my dream. I'm telling you, I just tried chickpeas. Well, although I had garbanzo beans before, but I didn't know what it was. But I just started really paying attention to it, and I'm like, "Ooh, these busting." So
Yeah.
after I finished my fruitarian diet, I would just do garbanzo beans and other stuff. And you just done crushed my dreams. I wish I would have never called it.
No, I'm not saying don't eat them. I'm just saying just be very aware how much you eat them. Be very aware how much you eat them because they can start backing you up. That's it. You can still eat them though. I still eat them. Anybody else? Satara, Christian, got quiet. What's going on?
I'm just listening. I'm here being a mommy.
You got any comments or questions on the class?
No, no questions. You definitely opened my eyes. Well, these are some things that I already knew as far as like type of recombination, but hearing it again is just a refresher, and I have to go back to the drawing board. Much appreciated.
No problem. Chris, what about you?
I'm still just processing everything. That's it. I'm a person that I'm more hands-on, so I have to actually go back and like do things.
That's all good. I understand. All right, family. With that being said, let's see our next class. We got 2 more classes. Let's say the next class is going to be. We got to keep on schedule. So the next class is going to be July. Nah, you know what? Y'all don't celebrate no July 4th, do y'all?
No.
Okay, y'all good. All right, so
yes,
we do that.
And I celebrated June 22. Yes, of course.
So the next class is going to be July 3rd. This class is going to be July 3rd, all right?
All right, cool.
All right, y'all. I'll see y'all next time.